I'm a troublemaker. I know, I may not look that intimidating, but I actually get paid to look for trouble. And I suspect that many of you do too. I'm in sales. I talk to a lot of people every day about their business challenges. And if there's not some trouble in the mix, we don't really get anywhere. In fact, I find that nothing worthwhile, personally or professionally, ever seems to happen without trouble. It's like the gatekeeper between where we are and where we want to be. So, let's see if I can stir up a little trouble here. See, trouble has a bad name, and I think it's actually a friend, an in-your-face kind of friend. The thing is, it's always in the mix. And if you don't look for trouble, it's going to come looking for you. Isn't that encouraging? I notice two overriding mindsets that determine how people deal with the trouble that comes at them and the trouble they choose to go after: the fixer mindset and the builder mindset. So which are you? Fixer or builder? We're going to do a little experiment here. Let's say the state fair is in town, and you and I are walking down the midway together, and there in front of us next to each other is the whack-a-mole and the high striker. Which would you pick? One is, how fast can we knock them all down? And the other is about swinging big. How high can you hit it? So, how many would choose the whack-a-mole? Awesome. I see several. How many would choose the high striker? Ah. Well, that's great. You're both here. And truth is, none of us can just be one or the other, fixer or builder. But the whack-a-mole makes me think of the fixer. It's all about closing all the open loops and keeping up, and we all get in this mode from time to time where we're just constantly batting down all the problems. The high striker makes me think of the builder. It's all about measured, focused impact, swinging big. And these fixer-builder mindsets can have a huge impact on business results. I saw this play out with a company called Blockbuster Video. Remember them? The multi-billion-dollar company put out of business by Netflix, right? There's actually more to that story. I was there. Back in 2006, I was assigned to the Blockbuster account, worked with their operation for several years, and they had a great team. I had my own desk in a 1 million square foot state-of-the-art facility, and for a while there, it was a fixer's paradise. But what we didn't know then was the founder of Netflix had actually visited Blockbuster 4 years prior to that and offered to run the Blockbuster brand online. They laughed him out of the room. He made 2 visits. There was even a CEO at Blockbuster prior to that who also wanted to take the brand online, and he was asked to leave the room. Let go. They were troublemakers. I got in trouble there for a second. They were troublemakers. See, Blockbuster didn't want to deal with the pain of disruption, so they had to deal with and administer the pain of displacement, of letting people go. And that's what I recall. That's what I did know and thought about often when I walked out the doors at Blockbuster, was all those people whose job was now to patch up a ship that was headed to the salvage yard and look for another ship to jump to. And I was there to help them optimize the distribution of a product that no one wanted anymore. It was sad, all because leadership didn't want to take on the trouble of transitioning to the new reality. Meanwhile, fast forward, Netflix just had a record-breaking first quarter this year, again. They're now a $32.9 billion company. They've continued to adapt to the market, develop new products, create their own content, produce their own content. See, while Blockbuster was busy playing whack-a-mole and keeping up, Netflix was building the new model, swinging big and headed into new territory. This builder mindset is in high demand in the current climate. I saw a study recently that said that 40% of the Fortune 500 companies, today's Fortune 500 companies on the S&P, will be gone in the next 10 years. And the main reason given is reluctance to embrace change, or what I would call failure to look for and embrace trouble. History is filled with examples of the great troublemakers who were willing to swing big. And I'm a little nostalgic here, but I always think of Abraham Lincoln, who won the presidential election, then had the gall to choose from his opponents to form the inner circle of his administration. All of these guys were better educated, better known, more experienced. Lincoln had run a two-man law office just prior to that election. He had no law degree, but he wins. And then, seeing the trouble ahead, he forms the inner circle of his administration with those opponents. Many of them become his most devoted allies. Lincoln grows and goes on to become this incredible leader during what may have been the most difficult time in U.S. history. And reading about his life, I just marvel at the way he constantly turns toward the trouble. It was like the medium in which his greatness grew. We all have our trubbies, don't we? Some we should avoid, some we should run from. But I believe there's another kind of trouble that wants to take us somewhere. A trouble that would grow us and stretch us. Kind of trouble we should run toward. The kind of trouble that's worth the trouble. Thank you.